Caller ID.
As your grooming guidance guru, I can give you some leeway as to where you put fragrance, but I am far less lenient on how you put on fragrance. Yes, how you put on fragrance can make or break the scent that you want. There is just so much room for error. And if you don't respect the science behind this, you're gonna get poor results with those fragrances. So this is how to make the most out of your fragrance purchases and smell the best and maximize the lifespan of the fragrances you buy. These are some do's, these are some don'ts, and because fragrances have different strengths, we'll analyze how to handle those situations, strong versus weak fragrances. Let's get the most terrible sprays out of the way. Do not walk through a mist cloud. This is not a beaded curtain that you're walking through. This is not a sliding, revolving door. This is a fragrance, and this is the worst use of spray if you're just walking through whatever happens to land on you. Terrible use of fragrance. Talking about waste of spray. Jeez. The second no-no, hotly contested, don't spray and rub it in, wherever you put it. This actually breaks down the scent prematurely, doesn't allow it to develop like it should. It also weakens performance significantly. Instead of the radius of the spray radiating from your skin, you're spreading it around in such a poor fashion that it will affect the performance negatively. So don't do it. Plus, that added friction, that rubbing it together, could alter the way it smells, and not in a good way. You are effectively changing the composition with that added heat of your body. Heat spoils fragrances if they're left in the bottle, so don't add that heat when it's on your skin. So what do you do instead? Well, I alluded to it earlier. Spray it and don't touch it. Just leave it. Leave it on your skin. Let it develop naturally, and it'll smell truer to the way that the perfumer intended it. It is a much gentler application on the skin, and you'll find that the fragrance lasts longer. It'll last more true to how it should perform. Try spraying it and laying off. Friction-free zone. Now, what if a scent is too strong? I know some people don't see this as a problem. Some people think there is no fragrance that's too strong, but there is. And there probably are some fragrances you'd reach for more if they weren't so strong. And you're just afraid that it would blow out the room. It's totally understandable, and I respect that. Some scents would naturally project more than would be appropriate for some situations. So to alleviate that, use a spray on a cotton ball or a cotton square or some kind of applicator, a Q-tip even, and then use that to apply the scent. You might say, Dr. Necktie, well, that's wasting a spray. How is that any better than just spraying up in the air and walking through it? Oh, okay, hear me out. What might you try to do to weaken one spray? You might try to push the trigger down halfway, get a half spray. Not all atomizers are created equal. I don't know if you've tried that, but that's difficult to achieve with some fragrances. You just can't do it. So you actually do have more control if you let a spray go on something to apply the fragrance with. And it's not a waste if it's helping you read the room. There's more to life than being the strongest smelling person in the building. There's more to life than knocking people off their feet. This is an intelligence thing. This is what it means to be a caller ID man, being self-aware. I'm not taking away your freedom to wear strong scents. No, I love strong scents. But you gotta know what is right for the right occasion. And this is a perfect way to temper a stronger scent. Now, what about a weaker scent? Well, this is subjective too, as to what constitutes a weaker scent. But there's plenty of methods to overcome this. One is that you just spray more on, but you gotta be careful because something that's weaker to your nose may not necessarily be weaker to someone else. Technically, the human body has 9 pulse points. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Make use of these pulse points And you can spray that weaker scent on more of those pulse points. If you're usually a wrist person, try the wrist and the neck. Or if you're usually a neck-only person, you might try the neck, behind the ears, the back of the neck, and the wrists, and. Wherever you feel like you can make the scent stronger for your needs. Skin chemistry is a real thing, speaking of science. And some peoples don't allow them to project scents like others. And a solution to this is lotion. Having well lubricated skin can make a scent that lasts this long on you last this long. Or here's a thought. You can just embrace weaker fragrances. There is a need for weaker scents. Not everything's got to be a Homer. Okay, we need to load some bases too. You need fragrances that are weaker. And this is one that I absolutely adore. I think it's a masterpiece. You can hear my full thoughts on it here. I'll talk to you there.